it's Mr. Mariani, and I'm very excited to see you today. Today we're going to talk a lot about lines. Look at all these lines behind me. Did you know that you can use lines to make shapes? And we're going to learn two new words today. We're going to learn the word geometric and organic. I wonder what those words mean. Well, let's get started so we can find out. Now let's practice those words, geometric and organic. So what I like to do is I like to take my fingers like this and pretend that I'm playing with slime, where slime is dripping down, and say, organic. Why don't you try it? Let's try it together. Organic. Then I like to use my robot voice and my robot arms, and I like to say the word geometric, geometric. It's pretty silly, but it helps us remember our words. Our words are organic and geometric. But now I need your help creating a monster called Ollie and a robot called Geo. Now, we don't know what these look like because you haven't made them yet. So the first thing we need to do is use our imaginations and envision. We have to think about what they're going to look like. But we know we can use our organic lines and our geometric lines to make them. So let's get started. Follow me. A very famous artist named Paul Klee said a line is a dot that went for a walk. Let's see what that looks like. Here's my dot. Let's say it's going for a walk, and then stops. That's a line. And lines can go up, might go around, might even go back a little bit, and then go here, and that's another line. But how does a line become a shape? Well, if Paul Klee says that a line is a dot that went for a walk, I would say that a shape is a dot that went all the way back home. So let's say he wakes up and he goes to school. Maybe he goes to some kind of a practice, a friend's house, but then comes back home. Now that's a shape. And one way you can remember it's a shape is if you fill it with water, no water can get out. Let me show you what I mean. So if I was going to put some water in here, let's just put a little bit thicker water in there. There's no water that can get out. But if my dot doesn't go back home, the water can get out. Let me show you what that looks like. So if my shape, let's make it a little darker for you guys. Let's say my line does not go back home. He sleeps over at a friend's house instead. Then when I put my water in, it can escape. Kind of out there. So a shape has to connect, or the dot has to go back home. Now let's talk about those words organic and geometric. Let's take a look at what they would look like as lines. So organic might go like this. Organic. We also know that's called a smooth line. But if it has straight lines, geometric, 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 we're going to call that a geometric line. Now remember, we said that a dot is a line that goes for a walk and comes back home. So let's go look at what that might look like. So let's go organic. Is that a shape? No, Mr. Mariani, because it can get out there. Let's finish that. Now I have an organic shape using an organic line, a smooth line. Let's look at geometric. Geometric, 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 geometric. Is that a shape yet? No, Mr. Mariani, it did not go back home. Now it is a geometric shape. Ta-da! Let's get making our monsters and our robots. For today's art project, you're going to need a pencil, an eraser, and maybe something to color with. Now let's start by using those smooth lines to make an organic shape. I'm only going to use the smooth lines and the straight lines. Let's start with smooth and let's make our monster. So let's go smooth, smooth. And I want my monster to have some eyes. I'm going to give my monster 3 eyes. Let's go smooth, smooth, and smooth. And I'm going to give it a big mouth. Smooth. And mine's going to be a friendly monster. Then I'm going to give it some wiggly legs. Organic. Maybe I'll give it a wiggle arm. Organic. Organic. And I'm going to make mine look silly by making their eyes going all different directions. It's a silly monster. I'm also going to put a little spot for the nose. This is a very silly monster. I might even put some wiggle horns on my monster too. And maybe I'll use a little bit of organic smooth lines to make him have some texture. Now let's make our geometric robot. So I'm gonna scoot over here. Here I go. I'm gonna start and go geometric. That's a good head. Geometric, 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 geometric. Whew. This is starting to look like a very cool robot. I have some geometric shapes. So even I can go straight lines, diagonal, we know vertical, we know horizontal, vertical, diagonal, vertical, horizontal. We know all different kinds of shapes. Maybe I will make little kind of rectangles right there. A skinny rectangle. Kind of looks like my robot has a shirt on. I'm gonna make kind of like letter C's for his or the robot's hands. And maybe I'll go geometric, geometric. And I could make my robot look whatever way I want. You get to pick. Make your robot do whatever you would like it to do. So maybe I will put a TV screen on him. And I'll use some more geometric lines. Maybe some geometric antenna. And this can be a real helpful robot. Straight lines. Remember, we're using just straight lines over here. And I don't know, you can put some shapes on there. Geometric shapes are always cool to put on a robot because it kind of looks like buttons. Maybe some shapes on the shoulders. And you can finish making your robot whatever way you want. So I have an organic monster named Ollie. We're gonna spell it a little bit weird. Let's spell it the name like this. And I have Geo, the geometric robot. Geometric. Cool. Now what I can do is I can go ahead and color these. I know how much you guys love to color, so let's get started. Now I'm all done with my monster named Ollie and my robot named Geo, and I used organic and geometric. But yours is going to look a lot different from mine because you're going to envision, something different. So maybe your organic monster has more eyes. Maybe it has teeth. Maybe your geometric robot has 4 legs. Maybe your geometric has no legs. You get to pick because you're the artist. All right, I cannot wait to see you artists again for our next lesson. And I cannot wait to see your organic monster Ollie and your geometric robot Geo.